So your first step in your spiritual growth and your paradigm shift here, getting out of that crazy way of being, is you look at life every single day and you remind yourself, this is life. And I am a visitor, a sojourner. I am the witness of the experience of life. And whatever is happening in life is what's happening in life. There's nothing more to say about it. There's no good or right or wrong or bad or worse or judging or anything like that. It's just, there it is. There it is. It's raining when it's raining. It's not raining when it's not raining. I told you it was very zen. People are nice to you and they're nice to you and they're mean to you and they're mean to you. Sometimes they're nice, aren't they? And sometimes they're mean, aren't they? Anybody figured out yet how to make that not happen? Ever? The history of humanity? It's just the nature of things. Yin, yang. Everything has its yin and its yang. Why can't it just be that way? That is the start of your spirituality. You are no longer using life to make yourself be okay. Because it's not going to do it. It will never behave and it will actually make you worse. If you are not okay, in a moment we're going to deal with that. But you don't deal with it by trying to force life and everybody in it to change so that you don't have a problem. It doesn't work. It's just, in essence, projecting your problem out to other people, places, and things, and now you got to fight with it outside instead of inside. So first, you let life be life, which is fun. Second, you stop this craziness of going to your mind and telling your mind to solve all your problems. The mind can't do that. And because it doesn't even know what your problems are, it just starts thinking. It just starts thinking of all the possible problems that could ever happen, doesn't it? It thinks it's serving you. It's making you worse, not better. So you tell your mind, I'm sorry I asked. Don't do that anymore. You know how beautiful that is? I guarantee if you ever actually sat down and had that conversation with your mind, you would feel like this tremendous release inside of you. I'm serious, I've done it. I remember the day I had that conversation with my mind, and that was 30 years ago, and I can remember the spot and the moment and the place when he actually got it, that I don't want him doing that anymore. It was sort of like, whew, 1 billion pounds got taken off of the whole system. You are to go to that mind and tell it, I don't want you doing that anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. It's not your job anymore to think of every single thing that could possibly go wrong and figure out what to do about it. I would rather get the shot when it's time for the shot than worry about it 2 weeks in advance and 2 weeks after. I will take the risk that life is going to have times of great joy and times of sorrow, all right? And I don't mind that. I will appreciate the times of joy and I'll appreciate the times of sorrow. I would rather live that way than worry all the time, than every single moment of my life have to be uptight, worrying, anxious about the fact that it might be time for sorrow. Well, Mickey, why'd you have to say that it was going to be times for sorrow? I could handle that there would be times for joy, but I don't want there to be times for sorrow. Now I have to worry about the fact that even he said there were going to be times for sorrow. Oh my God. You can handle a little sorrow? Just happens once in a while. I remember we started in the beginning. How many times of just great ecstatic joy are there actually? And how many times actually, do you lose an arm or something happen? It's just not that often, okay? It's like maybe you're worried about going to war and dying in war. Maybe you're worried about your husband going to war and dying in war, right? Maybe you're not even married yet. Maybe there's not a war going on. Maybe he's not even drafted. Maybe he's older. I don't know. Why are you thinking about it? That's all I can tell you, right? It's like, that's a stupid thing to do with your mind. And you're going to find out that you may not be the kind of person that ends up with a husband who goes to war. And therefore you wasted all your time thinking about that. And the fact that he might have a heart attack if he doesn't go to war. And the fact that how many other things could happen. I already told you, they're infinite. And so you decide, I'm not doing it. I would rather just experience life real than worry about it, than think about it, than do all that. I'm willing to take the risk. That's what it is. It's a risk, isn't it? It's a gamble. That I am better off experiencing the reality of life than I am playing this stupid game I've been playing, which is attempting to protect myself from the reality of life. That's what you're doing, isn't it? Isn't that what the mind's doing? Attempting to stay a step ahead of it, to think it all out, to think of everything going wrong, to protect yourself. But in the name of protecting yourself, you're making yourself sick all the time. You're making yourself worry all the time. Every possible thing that could possibly go wrong, you're thinking about, even though it would never happen. So it's very interesting. Something really worth contemplating. It's really worth looking at and thinking about. And so first you say to life, go about your business. Then you say to your mind, mind, oh mind. Don't yell at it. It's not its fault. You're the one who asked it to do this. Oh mind. You don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to do it anymore. We transcended your job. You're out. We're just going to experience life and see what that's like, instead of worrying about experiencing it. It'll take a while for your mind to get out of the vibe, the habit of always worrying, of always thinking it's supposed to think about it. But if you do work with this, you will get out. And what you will see is what those before you saw, which is not even close. The anguish and suffering that you are causing yourself on a constant basis is 700 million times beyond any suffering you will feel by letting life be life. It can't not be, right? Because you're doing it every minute. There's no way that every minute stuff's going wrong, right? But the potential for stuff to go wrong is every minute. That I got straight. But the fact that it's actually causing all this trouble. You ever see people drive? Well, why are you driving like that? Somebody could run a light. Somebody could do this. Yeah, I know. The car could break down. I know. Somebody could hit me. I know. What a way to drive. Somebody else just driving, enjoying, tops down, having a fun old time, talking, driving a car. What a difference. What an amazing difference. You want to know who gets the accident? This guy. Because they're so uptight. They don't get out of the road when they turn. They don't do anything. What are you doing? That's what I'm talking about. What kind of driver through life are you? Because if you are sitting there worrying about every possible thing that can happen, you are one uptight person. And it's going to show up. It shows up in your body, it shows up in your mind, it shows up in your heart, it shows up in your world, it shows up everywhere. You're just uptight. Can you get yourself good and uptight? Whoa, I told you how brilliant your mind is. Why would you take something that brilliant and tell it to do something that stupid? It's crazy. And so you relieve it of its duties. And I say it's a habit, but over time, just keep letting it go. Just don't buy into it, and it will stop. Now, you'll be left in a very holy place. You'll be left where you should have been to start with. You'll be left with the problems of your heart. Remember? You went to the mind to try to solve the problems of your heart. Your mind went to the world to try and manipulate and control it so the heart doesn't have any trouble. Now you left the world alone. Now you left the mind alone. Guess what you're going to be left with? You're going to be left with the human heart. And there's nothing wrong with that. And what you're going to see is that the human heart is very scared. It's very sensitive and it's very scared. But that isn't truly its true state. And if you're willing to sit with it and tolerate, ultimately, and this is really the essence of all the teachings, no matter what we talk about, no matter where you go or what you do, when it is said and done, if you want to transcend yourself, you must be willing to sit comfortably with the anguish, the fear of your heart. Because if you're not willing to sit comfortably with it, you're going to do something about it. And the only place you can go is the mind. You'll go to the mind and say, what should I do about it? All right? And there you go again. You went the wrong way. If you cannot sit with the pain and the disturbance of your heart, and you know what I mean, then you're going to want to do something about it. And what can you do? There's no place to go. You go to the mind. And you say, mind, what should I do about it? And guess what the mind knows about? The only thing the mind knows about is what it was programmed with. It was programmed with the world. All day, all the world pours into the senses, doesn't it? And the mind picks it all up. So if you're not okay sitting with the heart, then what you do is you go to the mind and say, what should I do about it? And guess what the mind's going to say? Get divorced, get married, go over here, do this, get a new job, get more money, get more money, get more money, get more money. It's like a broken record. Get more money, get more... Get more love, get a new friend, get a new relationship, something. It's love, money, this, that, something like that, right? It's always outside. Do something outside, fix something outside, change something outside. That's what the mind says, because that's the only thing it knows about. And so you can't blame the mind, you can't blame the world, and you can't blame the heart. I'm blaming you. Blame it on the soul. We'll make that one of these songs. Blame it on the soul. It is the soul, the consciousness that is sitting in there and is not capable of keeping itself together when the heart has a problem. The day that the soul can relax, you just relax yourself in the face of what the heart is feeling. You should be able to sit comfortably with your heart. Ultimately, that's what you have to learn. That is the essence of your sadhana, by the way. You have to be able to sit in whatever state the heart is in. And when you can sit and relax and be comfortable with whatever state the heart is in, guess what? You won't have to go run into the mind for some solution. What will happen then? What will happen then is very, very beautiful. I'd rather have you experience than talk about it, but I'll give you some clues. What will happen then is all of a sudden you'll be there instead of not being there. Because right now when the heart has a problem, you're not there. You go running the mind, you go running outside, and you go running around like a chicken with your head cut off, right? When the heart can have a problem, and you know what I mean, I'll have to discuss that. And by the way, it can have two kinds of problems. Don't think that I mean by problem jealousy or fear and insecurity, right? You could fall madly in love when you don't want to be. You could decide that you really like something, you're drawn toward it tremendously, and you can't get it. And the heart can cause problems, positive and negative, right? It can be for something or against something, and you're in trouble, aren't you? All right? That heart is a very interesting thing. Can you sit comfortably inside, relaxed, calm, conscious, while the heart runs its gambit? The day you can is the day you will find that something happens that is very different than anything you ever imagined. Instead of getting all involved in the heart and then going out to the mind and going out to the world, when you can just sit there and the heart does its thing and you don't react, you just relax, you will start to get pulled in naturally, all by itself. You don't do it. You'll start feeling that because you didn't get involved in it, you're drifting back behind it. A force will start to pull you back inside. And you'll start to feel some strength inside that you didn't know was there before. Not the strength of solving the heart's problems. Not the strength of hope that maybe you'll be able to. Those things are too down there. It's just an inner strength from behind you that starts to pull you into it and starts to sustain you. And what you realize is that because you no longer have to tend to the heart, you get to know yourself. Right now you can't know yourself because you have lost yourself in the problems of your heart, which then led you to the mind, which then lost you in the world. When you do not have to tend to the heart, not because the heart is okay, but you're okay with the heart. That's the only okay that's going to exist. The human heart is like a rainbow. It runs the whole gambit of colors, doesn't it? You've been in there, right? It can do anything. So what? Learn to be comfortable with whatever the heart is doing, and you will no longer have to babysit the darn thing every single second of your life.